Welcome to EnfinityCast, the space where we explore the universe's biggest questions. I'm your host, Niko Ardent. Today, we're stepping into one of the oldest and most profound debates in human history, the relationship between faith and reason. Are they locked in an eternal battle, or can they be seen as two sides of the same coin? Here to help me unpack this is my brilliant co-host, Solene.
Thanks for having me, Niko. It's a massive topic, and it feels like the friends or foes question has been echoing to the halls of philosophy and theology for millennia. It's not just an abstract idea. It's a tension many people feel personally in their own lives.
Absolutely. And historically, the relationship has been incredibly complex. You can go back to the medieval scholastics like Thomas Aquinas, who dedicated his life's work to synthesizing Aristotelian reason with Christian faith. He saw philosophy as the handmaiden of theology, a tool to rationally explore and understand divine revelation. For him, they weren't foes at all. They were partners.
That's true, but that partnership was often on theology's terms. The handmaiden can't really question the mistress. Then, a few centuries later, the Enlightenment flipped that script entirely. Thinkers like Voltaire and David Hume championed reason, often positioning it as a liberating force against the dogmas of faith. Reason became the primary and, for some, the only valid path to truth. Anything that couldn't be empirically verified or logically deduced was suspect.
And we see that legacy today, don't we? On one side, you have arguments that faith is inherently irrational, a belief without evidence. On the other, you have fideism, the idea that faith doesn't need reason, that it's a separate way of knowing that transcends logic. It seems we're still stuck in that same opposition.
Perhaps, but I wonder if the verses framework is the problem. Maybe they aren't competing for the same territory. The philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein talked about language games, the idea that different areas of life have their own internal logic and rules. The language of science and reason is excellent for describing the how of the physical world. How does gravity work? How do cells divide?
In faith, it attempts to answer the why questions. Why is there something rather than nothing? What is our purpose? Why should we be good? These aren't questions that a microscope or a telescope can really answer.
Exactly. They might be different lenses for viewing the same vast reality. Reason gives us a high-definition, detailed map of the terrain, while faith gives us a compass, suggesting a direction or a purpose for the journey. You need both the map and the compass to navigate effectively. One without the other feels incomplete.
A map and a compass. I love that metaphor. It moves us beyond a simple conflict. So the ultimate question isn't whether they're friends or foes, but how we can learn to use both tools with wisdom. It leaves us to wonder, in our own lives, where do we draw the line between what we can prove and what we choose to believe? A big thank you to Solene for that insightful conversation. And thank you for listening to EnfinityCast.